Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're all doing great. First up, there's a change to how character transfers work that will matter to anyone who has been trying to move characters between worlds. The tweak allows players to transfer their characters into worlds that are full or locked, as long as they have a friend there. That little change sounds simple, but it actually unclogs a lot of awkward situations. People who joined a friend's instance and then later wanted their progress moved over can do so even when that world has closed to inbound players. It smooths out the social logistics of the game. If your squad has a permanent home and you've been bouncing, this should make rejoining that social space a lot easier. Another fix is small in description, but huge for certain mission runs. The sensor antenna used in the Rift Recon Run mission was moved because other players' bases could end up blocking interaction with it. If you ever got stuck waving at a mission object while someone else's base geometry got in the way, this is exactly the kind of fiddly world-building problem that turns into a real annoyance in the middle of a run. Safer placement of mission interactables means fewer aborted attempts and fewer moments where the game feels like it's working against you. On the server side, the update explicitly lists improved server stability, which is the kind of blanket line that covers a lot of back-end maintenance and smaller fixes that reduce crashes, disconnects, or odd desyncs. It's not flashy, but for anyone who's been disconnected mid-raid or seen NPCs stop behaving correctly because the server hiccuped, even modest stability improvements can make sessions significantly less frustrating. There was a cosmetics-related bug that annoyed some players. Purchases of the light and heavy contraband armor variants would not grant the customization they paid for. The studio has acknowledged that issue and has promised reimbursements for any scripts spent on those items in a future patch. That means players who clicked buy and didn't get the visual upgrade will be credited back the in-game currency once the reimbursement work is pushed. It's always a bummer to spend resources and get nothing for it. So this sort of fix plus reimbursement is a good example of the developers recognizing an economic bug and taking responsibility for the lost currency. There are a few combat and building fixes worth calling out because they affect day-to-day play in different ways. One specific combat fix addresses an issue where ranged NPCs wouldn't attack when they were affected by the attractor field. The patch corrects that behavior so those enemies actually respond to players as intended. If you've used attractor field in defensive base setups or during certain encounters, you'll notice NPCs behaving more predictably now. On the building front, there was an edge case where some players could not snap their backed up bases to the origin because the game complained they were too close to a no-building zone. That kind of grinding halt to base building and restoration is exactly the kind of situation that makes a builder lose hours of patience, so fixing the snap behavior should save people a headache when restoring or moving their base. The user interface saw a tidy bug fix as well. The journey HUD tracker could break during the Bloodline journey in Chapter 2 and show unknown as the next objective. That's one of those UX bugs that is technically minor, but has a disproportionate impact on player flow. If the tracker stops telling you your next step, the path forward becomes murky, and players waste time trying to figure out what to do next. Patch fixes like this keep the narrative and questing flow intact, so fewer players wander around confused in the middle of an important chapter. A couple of practical notes the developers flagged: since this is a hotfix rolling out to servers, it won't always require a client download, but restarting the Steam client can help if the patch doesn't show up immediately. The announcement also points players to the official Discord and Steam discussion boards for the list of known issues. That's where the dev staff community dialogue tends to land, and where people can check for real-time reports or server notices. While I'm not listing links here, the patch page itself contains those references if anyone wants to follow up on the thread. Overall, this update reads like a tidy set of fixes that take care of small but annoying gameplay blockers, clean up mission and UI annoyances, and shore up the backend. None of it is headline shaking, but when you aggregate small quality of life improvements and server-side stability work, the total effect is often an appreciable smoothing of the gameplay experience. For people who build bases, run Bloodline chapters, or who had trouble with cosmetic purchases, it should feel like some persistent friction has been removed. That's the rundown: a compact hotfix, some targeted fixes for missions, combat, building, UI, and server stability, and a promise to reimburse spent scripts for the armor purchase bug in the next patch.